we're going to be taking a look at more advanced stuff. So hopefully you already have the basic stuff like inviting students into your sessions and creating sessions and possibly creating exercises as well down, because today is going to be a little bit more advanced. We're going to be taking a look at how we can have teacher controlled drills where we record the student voice and the teacher's voice. And we're also going to be using the advanced recorder quite a bit. So the topics we're going to cover today are all hands-on training. First, we're going to take a look at simple recorder and using the record group audio function to generate teacher-driven drills, which means that we will be interviewing the students and recording everything. We'll do it for individual students, and then we'll do it for the entire class as well. Then we're going to move on and take a look at the advanced recorder and how we can use the record instructions part in Connect to create source audio for our students to listen to. And we want our students to use the voice insert function when they are completing the exercise. We'll also be taking a look at the session instructions and how to modify them during a live session. And we've also got a helpful tip for all the teachers. It's using different Chrome profiles to log in as a student. This will give you an easy way to check how your exercises look on the student end. And you can do it very quickly. We'll go through that as well. And finally, we're going to be using the advanced recorder with a video as a source file. And again, the students will be using voice insert to insert their translations afterwards. Okay, we can come back to this list later, but let's jump into Connect now. So I've already logged in to Connect, and I've created a session for us that we'll be using today. It's this one at the top, so it's the advanced training session. I'm already in as a teacher, and my colleague too has logged in 2 students for me. The first thing we could take a look at is how the teacher sees the student status when you've shared an exercise. It makes it easy to keep track of what each student is doing. So I'm going to share an exercise, and my colleague too will click through the different exercise parts, and we'll see how it reflects under the student icon here. So I'm sharing this exercise. Okay, now my colleague too is opening the exercise, and we see this tiny book appear below their student icon. If I hover my mouse over it, we'll see that they have the exercise open. Okay, now they've turned on recording. We can see that the student is recording right now. So it's very easy to keep track of what your students are currently up to. Now she's playing back her recording. So if we want to, at a glance, see what's going on at the student end, this is a very quick way to do so. But jumping right in to one of the topics for today is we're going to do a teacher to student interview. So I'm going to be the teacher, and my colleague too is the student for this exercise. I've created an exercise with the simple recorder. I've also added instructions at the top, which say, please wait until your teacher tells you to start the exercise. And underneath that, I've used the editor and I've added the simple recorder there. And I've chosen this option at the bottom, record group audio in addition to user's audio. This means that whatever the student is hearing through Connect, it will be recorded when they turn on the recording. This means that when we're speaking with this student as a teacher and they are recording, our voice will be recorded as well. So we're going to be doing a quick interview exercise. And I'm going to use to student 1 to illustrate this one. So I'll just first share the interview exercise with my students here. Okay, I see that she has already opened it, so I will speak with her now. Let's wait for a moment to see that we've joined the audio. We see this tick mark here. It means that we're in private conversation with this student. Okay, too, you can turn on the recording. Thank you. Okay, uh, my first question for you would be, what is your name?
My name is Tu.
Which day of the week is it today?
It is Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
Okay, thank you. You can stop the recording and please submit the exercise back to me. And now I will end the conversation. So now I'm no longer connected to Tu, but we had this quick interview. And she submitted the exercise back to me. And we can quickly have a listen on how that interview went. So I just clicked on the exercise, clicked Tu's name, and let's listen.
Okay, too. You can turn on the recording. Thank you. Okay. Uh, my first question for you would be, what is your name?
My name is Tu.
As you can see, the student responses have been recorded right there, and the teacher voice has been recorded alongside with it. So this is a very easy way to have one-on-one interviews with your students. All you need to do is create an exercise. I'll just quickly withdraw that so I can open it. And all you need to add is the simple recorder from the editor and choose this final option here, record group audio. It will then record both the teacher voice and the student voice. And when the students submit it back to you, you can hear uh, all the audio recorded in the same file. Next, we're going to do that same thing for the entire class. So I will be using the speak to class function here. Again, I have a new exercise created. It's basically exactly like that one we did just before now. So we have a simple recorder. And once again, we've chosen the option to record group audio. Okay, we have Albert Gomez joining us. I'll admit him. So once again, we've chosen the record group audio option here for the simple recorder. We've just added the simple recorder with the editor here. So I'm going to share this with my class. Let's close it first. Again, I will share it with my students. Now my students have access to this. Okay, Thomas is coming in as well. Now my students have access to the speak to class interview exercise. So what I want my students to do, and Tu already has that exercise open, I want them to wait until I start speaking, and then they should turn on the recording. So I will use the speak to class function. It will transmit my voice to my students. My students can't speak back to me, but when they are recording, their responses will be recorded there. So again, I click on the speak to class. I wait until I see that the students have joined the audio. Okay, here we go. You can now turn on the recording. And as we can see again, below the student, this icon changed into recording. So we know that they are actually recording. So now we again ask some questions from our students. So let's go with the easy ones again, and please state your name first. And which day of the week is it today? Okay, please submit the exercise back to your teacher. So now we have the speak to class interview. And again, we can go through students one by one just by clicking on their name. And when we click on play, we'll hear the teacher's voice and the students' responses to our questions here.
And as we can see again, below the student, this icon changed into recording. So we know that they are actually recording. So now we again ask some questions from our students. So let's go with the easy ones again. And please state your name first.
My name is Tu.
Okay, so you heard that the teacher voice was recorded alongside with the student voice. So with the simple recorder, if you choose the option to record group audio, it will always record everything the student hears through Connect. It's very useful for creating teacher-driven interviews and perhaps quick spoken oral exams as well. The next thing we're going to do here today is we're going to be using the advanced recorder. And we want to record our voice for our students to listen to. And we want to do everything in Connect. So let's see how we would do that. For that, we would create a new exercise. So this exercise is called, let's call it Advanced Recorder with Teacher Voice. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so what do? First, we want to have the advanced recorder because that's what the students will be using. Then we want to record ourselves speaking. Let's say we want our students to translate our sentences into the source language. We'll only be using English today, but let's say we want to have our students translate what we're saying here. So I want to record myself, and I'll add record instructions to this exercise as well. As a teacher, I'm going to record some simple phrases here, and I want my students to use the voice insert function to add their translations after each sentence. For reference to, you don't actually have to complete this exercise. So, as a teacher, I'm going to be recording my voice here, and I want my students to translate it. So I'll just click on record, and well, today has been a very cold day here in Finland. It's Tuesday, and we're having a training session on Sanako Connect. Okay, if we want, we can listen to our recording right here.
And
okay, it seems to be working, so let's use that. So I'll click on yes, upload. What we just recorded here is now stored inside this Connect session as well. So if we go to the Files menu, we can see a new recording here. It's called Teacher Recording. It's the audio that we just recorded there. Now, that means we can also use that as the master track for the advanced recorder. So we click on the list and choose that same file from here. Afterwards, we can easily remove this record instructions part. The audio has been saved inside the system, so we no longer need that part in the exercise. Let's take a look at the preview. So here we see the recording we just did has been assigned as the master track for the advanced recorder. We also would want our students to use the voice insert function for this exercise. Now I'm going to follow up with another tip. As a teacher, when you're creating the exercises, you most likely want to see how they look on the student end. Now the preview is very useful for that. You get to see how the exercise looks and you know if everything is in order. But let's say you also want to complete the exercise, do a practice run sort of. So what we're going to do is we're going to open another Chrome user profile on the same computer. First, I'm going to copy this URL at the top. It's the URL my students use to connect to this session. Then in Chrome, I'm going to go to my profile and click on it. It's possible to create additional profiles here very easily. You can just add profiles and use one of those. I'm going to be using this test profile that I've created. Now, with this profile, I haven't logged in to Connect, so the system will think that I'm a student. I also get to experience what it's like to log into Connect as a student. So this one will be Alexis student. And I'll click on continue. And we get, yeah, here we go.
Here we go.
Okay, so now on the same computer, we have a student logged in to the session. Let's go back to the teacher end and look at the class. So here we have Alexis student, who is actually on the same computer as I am. I can now see the exercises that I've shared with my students. So I'll share the advanced recorder with teacher voice and complete it here, so you can see how it works. So I've shared the exercise to the session. It's available to these 3 students here, one of them which is open on my computer. So I'll just open the student here. Okay, we get a notification that we have a new exercise available. Let's open the advanced recorder with teacher voice. Okay, now we can complete it as a student. We can do a practice run and see if our exercise is any good. Let's also enable the voice insert so we can record our voice in the middle of the master track if needed. So let's start to listen.
And well, today has been a very cold day here in Finland.
Okay, I'll just record something here. So I click on record and the system is automatically creating a gap in the master track because we're using the voice insert function. And here we see the end result. So the master track now has a pause in it whenever our students are recording something. Okay, to follow up on that one, let's have another tip here. When the students don't have an exercise open, I'll just submit this one and close it. We can easily, as the teacher, change the instructions that our students see when they are in the session. So let's click on our teacher menu here and choose the option Edit Instructions. I've written some instructions already. I have them in Notepad, so I'm just going to paste that right here. And here are my instructions. I'll just make that a heading. And now I'll save it. Now, my students see the instructions in real time when they join or when they don't have an exercise open on their end. So let's review that quickly. So we click on the teacher menu, and there's the option for editing instructions. And here we can change this, and it will update in real time on the student end. Okay. For the last exercise we're creating today, we're going to have an exercise where we use a video file as the source file for the advanced recorder. I've already uploaded that file here. It's right here. It's movie4.mp4, and we will be using that as the source file for our advanced recorder. So all we need to do is we add an advanced recorder to the exercise from the editor, and from the drop-down menu we can choose the video file. It's very easy to do. For the actual video file, I've used my mobile phone just to shoot a quick video. It gives you a lot of options. You could even have your students recording short clips with their mobile phones and sending them over to you. And you could have the entire class, for example, translating what they're doing in the video or recording their description of what's going on in the video. For this exercise, I've just requested my students to use the voice insert function from the recorder and record yourselves after each sentence. And that's more than enough. Okay, I'll just close this one. And again, I will share it to the session. I will also withdraw the exercises that are no longer needed. So again, well, we're back at the student end, and here we see the instructions that we updated previously. So here's the welcome to advanced training session message I entered previously. But let's open the exercise. So we have the advanced recorder with video here, and it says unopened, so we know that this is the one that we should open. Now I've included instructions for my students. For this exercise, please enable voice insert from the recorder settings. So let's do that. Again, we enable the voice insert function and we start the video. We can also lower the master track volume or our voice as a student if we want. So let's click on play. The video starts to play back, and we can again record ourselves right here. Let's say we're recording a translation, and it creates a gap. It pauses the video actually while we're recording, but it's very useful in multiple kinds of exercises. And once again, the student is done, so they click on submit. And the submission appears here. We can also see that 2 is currently in progress with this exercise. So when we've shared an exercise and our students start to work on that exercise, we can already jump into the submissions tab if we want to keep track of what the students are currently doing. Okay, and if we click on an individual student, we can listen to their recording right here. And again, there's the recording that the students have done. Now, if you want, we can save the audio for this exercise as well. We just click on the 3 dots right here and choose download as mono or download as stereo as needed. So now we have 2 exercises shared. At this point, are there any questions from the participants? If you want me to recap anything, now is a good time.
Alexis,
Yeah.
should we tell about the re-recording using the advanced recorder also as a student? If they want to redo it again, for example.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to share your screen and do that?
I can do that as well. So I'm sharing this one. So basically, I'm just using the voice insert again. And if I record something like this, if I want to record again, for example, I just click that to be at the beginning like this and unclick the voice insert and re-record something. But yeah.
Yes, this is very helpful if you've made a mistake and you want to correct it. So you can easily re-record yourself on top of your original recording in case you need to redo anything.
Um, I just had a question about being able to record kids working in paired or group activities. Is that possible?
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yeah. I can quickly show how you would do that. That's probably the bread and butter of what you're doing with the language lab, I guess. So
Yes, it is.
So basically, the first example that I gave you about interviewing students, you can do it exactly like that. So I will quickly create an exercise where we would record a group of students. So all you need to do, I'll just quickly name this group recording. So all you need to do is to again add the simple recorder, and you choose this option at the bottom, record group audio. In addition,
Okay.
so when this is selected and this exercise has been shared, I'll quickly group 1 or 2 students here just to illustrate. We don't actually have to complete this recording, but this is how it would be. So now we have 2 students in this group. They have the exercise. When we click live audio on, it creates an audio connection between these 2 students.
Okay.
Afterwards, they open the exercise and start the recording, and it will record all of them in, well, all of the recorders will record every student in that group.
Okay.
Was it too technical, or did you actually get the answer?
No, I think I get it. Okay, so they open the exercise and everybody has to press their own record button.
Yeah. At this point,
Okay.
it's on the students to click on the record button. We're going to make it
Okay.
easier for you as a teacher, so you can click on the recording in the future. But at this point, the students would be the ones clicking on the recording, actually.
Yeah, okay, because that's kind of what I wanted to know is if one student presses record, does it record everybody, or does it like separate them into tracks?
It's basically recording everyone. So if you have students in a group, it would be enough if one of them records.
Okay,
Because
that's kind of, yeah.
yeah, if everyone records, you'll just have multiple recordings with exactly the same audio content, but
Awesome. So
it doesn't
I
matter.
can just have a group leader. I could have a group leader to start the recording for them, and that will take care of it.
Yes.
Right.
The only thing you have to make sure is that you've turned that the live audio is on.
Okay.
When your students are, I have additional things very quickly here. I'll give you another tip. I'll just have 2 second student in the group. So now we have the group of students. I'll enable the live audio. As a teacher, we can also join in this group. So you could interview your students and have the entire thing recorded.